for days. It was absolutely incredible. But moving on to this next game, it's Powys Sparks versus Valley Volcanoes. We know what these two teams can do. We've seen them, especially yesterday, pull things out of the bag that we never thought was possible. But Nat, initial thoughts for this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Powys Sparks were really exciting yesterday. Like, they played a phenomenal game and really kept us on the edge of our toes, without a doubt. And Valley Volcanoes are oozing talent in their squad. I think if you were going to call it early, you'd probably tip Valley Volcanoes, but we would have tipped against Powys Sparks yesterday, and they smashed it. So you can't write them off.
Absolutely. Well, as we have mentioned a couple of times for Powys Sparks, an absolutely incredibly versatile teams, players playing all over the court. But as you mentioned, Nat, Valley Volcanoes absolutely oozing talent and caps and experience, wealth of experience, especially in player coach Nick Cook in the mix, and the defensive setup of Kidner and Perry really dominating that court. Well, let's just quickly go into the starting sevens for these two teams taking on the court this morning. For Valley Volcanoes, in that goal shooter position is Georgia Jenkins. Goal attack is Jade Balderson. Wing attack is the previous goal attack for yesterday, Kerrish Reynolds. Centre court is that player coach Nick Cook. Wing defence, Lowry Jenkins. Goal defence, Steph Perry. And goalkeeper, Tish Kidner. And for Powys Sparks, goal shooter will be Becky Mumby. Goal attack, Emily Brooks. Wing attack, Misha Jackson. Centre court will be Chaya Holmes. Wing defence, Beth Davis. Goal defence, Lizzie Sims. And goalkeeper will be Mary Bailey. The game will be taken charge by mother and daughter duo umpiring qualificators, Charlie Howells and Claire Williams. Absolutely wonderful to see what netball brings to families.
That's phenomenal. I mean, I've been lucky that I get to play with my daughter at the moment, although quite often it's now me on the bench and her on the court. But look at that, to be umpiring at this level with your daughter, what an absolute honour.
Definitely so. Claire Williams, one of the A umpires we have here in Wales. Charlie Howells, a qualified B umpire, both very experienced and competent umpires. Looking forward to see them running their court sprints, as we call it today. Very athletic umpires. So as both teams take to the court, the Powys Sparks in the orange and black, and Valley Volcanoes taking the first centre pass in the grey and pink.
Yeah, I think Shia Holmes has a work cut out here for Powys Sparks against Nick Cook. Nick Cook has been outstanding all tournament, but yesterday she made a real impact when she was on the court. She has her time on the bench as well, but you can really feel it when she comes back on. She's so smart, so fast.
Very impactful player, Nick Cook, protecting space with body already.
And the fake on the feed as well.
Well, Jade Balderson just hitting the rim on that first one, but George Jenkins puts it up.
Yeah, great centre pass defence there, and a really early switch as well between Nick Cook and Lowry Jenkins.
Letitia Kidner just tipping that ball over. Again, another extremely talented goalkeeper in that defensive circle. And wins a turnover for Volcanoes. Steph Perry.
Look at that speed.
Speed of ball down court. But Mary Bailey takes the ball away from Georgia Jenkins. And Steph Perry again. What athleticism we see from her to win the ball off the side of the court. But Tish Kidner called for replay ball.
Oh, it's just a whole different level of physical fitness, isn't it, here?
Nick Cook, another one of those who held the ball. Bailey standing in the air. Mary Bailey again all over Georgia Jenkins.
Yeah, we saw her come into the goal shooter position yesterday, and I'm sure she's multi-talented, but I feel like she's such a good goalkeeper, and she's just proven that right now.
She very much is, very athletic in that defensive circle. Here goes Jenkins. Shooters haven't quite found their eye yet, but there is Balderson.
I'm sure it won't take long. We saw Jenkins yesterday. She is the swish queen, one of the other long bombers.
She's a very swish shooter, you're absolutely right. Kerrish Reynolds, the wing attack today, previously the goal attack yesterday. We know her movement through court is very fluid as well.
Lovely shot.
Well, 3-0 currently here as we start off the third game of the day. Steph Perry all over Misha Jackson. Arm to ball, and that's how quick the ball moved.
Oh, just that final ball in a little too fast, but the centre pass defence from Valley Volcanoes is superb at the minute. Powys Sparks need to look at that setup, do an early zero phase setup so that they can ensure one of them is coming over free.
Beth Davis, the catalyst yesterday for Powys Sparks, still doing her work, but Tish Kidner, she is dangerous on that fly, isn't she?
She really is. I mean, it was a bit gifted, that one, but, you know, you've got to put yourself in the right place at the right time, haven't you, to be gifted the ball anyway.
You have to read the game from one end of the court to the other, and that's what she does so well, to give Volcanoes another point on the board. Cook finds Perry. Straight into Balderson, top of the circle.
And the depth on first and second phase. We've talked about the centre pass for quite a few teams throughout today, and that was just a really good example of taking the ball close to the transverse line and then all the way to circle edge.
And again, that defensive setup from Valley Volcanoes, forcing the ball over the edge of the back line. Laurie Jenkins doing some wonderful off-ball body work.
Oh, such fast hands. And arriving at the perfect time, Georgia Jenkins.
Mary Bailey again collecting that. Georgia Jenkins just apologising for that miss. Still finding her feet in this game.
Lovely swing.
Sparks. Brooks takes ball into face. Reynolds settles herself, can't quite find Cook.
Oh, just too fast.
Nick Cook asking for her team to come towards ball. There she is again, Nicola Cook.
Lovely use of the top of the circle rather than forcing the direct ball into Georgia Jenkins. Just using the edge.
Jenkins again with that miss. Just needs to settle herself a little bit. Shooters can get into their own head, can't they, when they miss a couple of shots? Needs to just get rid of those ones and just get into the zone again.
Yeah, and they've all been short, so she just needs to tweak it a little bit, give it a little bit more push from her legs.
Oh, lovely ball from Kerris Reynolds. Nick Cook. 2 swings. 2 fakes on a swing to Reynolds. And Balderson finds the net.
Yeah, and in fairness, that was probably too many swings because they swung it and they opened up the shooter's ball side, but then they swung it again, which put them all non-ball side. You could see Jenkins' face just go, what?
Some unforced errors coming on now for Volcanoes as they are moving the ball a bit too fast.
Nice,
but you cannot
up.
fault their defensive setup. And offside call for Chaya Holmes. Steph Perry. And a correct call from Claire Williams, the umpire. No control taken by Kerris Reynolds on that first ball.
Yeah, the attempted pop from Jenkins, it didn't need as much force on it. She could have just popped it gently.
Beth Davis finds Jackson.
We talked off air, didn't we, about the fact that they could do with some goal difference here, Valley Volcanoes, to put themselves up in second place contention. And I think some of the speed is probably because of that.
And someone who knows these players very well is Miss Sarah Bell. And she will be joining us shortly up in the commentary box.
Oh,
and give her valuable insight. Look at the footwork and the hand speed from Jenkins to Cook.
Just need a bit more legs on these shots.
Volcanoes could have had quite a bit more of a goal difference by now if we had those extra bit of shooting accuracy, but a change happening for Powys Sparks. Shire Holmes, the shooter, the centre, comes off.
I think it is an injury because no one on the bench was even ready, let alone standing up. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to come on and replace her.
And the second Jackson on the court, Leah Jackson, comes on to centre to play with her twin sister, Misha Jackson, at wing attack.
Oh, Lowry Jenkins just a bit late on that one.
And Tish Kidner up in the air, taking that ball.
And she makes it look so easy, doesn't she?
So effortless. Beth Davis wonderfully read off Cerys Reynolds.
She just needed to pull that one in. It was a great tip. I'd back her to catch it.
And a nice little pop. And as Balderson puts the ball up, we are joined by Sarah Bell, which will take over for us for a little while during this game. Just over a minute left on the clock.
Oh, it came off her foot.
Unfortunate for Balderson, the ball came off her foot. A little bit of composure required, I think, for Volcanoes at the moment.
Yeah, I do think they're just playing a bit too fast. Like that final feed in is a rushed feed in quite a lot of the time. They just need to create something because we know that they can create some beautiful plays, use the triangles, use the swing effectively, and create something rather than just forcing it.
Well, that defensive setup of Perry and Kidner, we know, is a difficult one to break through. But Sparks are trying their very best to get that ball in.
And it's just their footwork. If you watch them, look at Kidner. She's not on the body. She's off the body. She's got her head up. She's looking in between. She can see ball and player. And she's ready to hunt if she needs to as well. Look, that allows her to take that tip.
She has that quick feet movements. And here goes Emily Brooks. Gets her first shot in of the day. Quick pop to Becky Mumby. And there it is. Powys Sparks are on the scoreboard with 30 seconds left on the clock. And Steph Perry takes that turnover effortlessly. Nick Cook trying to rush the ball.
20 seconds is a really long time.
Wonderful work by Cerys Reynolds.
And take a breath.
There is Georgia Jenkins finding her range.
Welcome back.
10 seconds now on the clock. And Volcanoes will go again. A breath required there for Balderson.
Not enough time to get it through.
There is the buzzer. Well, at the end of that feisty first quarter for Valley Volcanoes, 9-goal plays to 1. Tantrum-sponsored Volcanoes versus the Gallery Loft Conversions Powys Sparks. 9 goals to 1. Nat, you are going to decipher that quarter with Sarah Bell and continue on this game while I go and settle my throat and have a coffee, I think.
Enjoy your caffeine. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's ask you really quickly, I know we're in the middle of this game, but very quickly, much better performance from your team today.
So much better. It's just what we needed. We kind of regrouped yesterday after both games. We obviously went home, had a bit of a rest, kind of just came in with a plan this morning, play our own game. And that's what we did. Came out with a win, and what a relief.
It was so much better. We did wonder where you'd gone yesterday, and it seemed very much individual play. But today you played as a unit, and everyone took part in each unit. It was lovely.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like I said yesterday, we just couldn't gel on the court, and changes were being made, and we just couldn't adapt to them quick enough. 2 games where we were gunning for wins yesterday, where we got 2 losses, and we were really disappointed. Better performance in the second game yesterday, but still not quite enough. So to come out with our win today, our first win of this season, was just, what we deserve.
And not just a win, an amazing game.
Yeah, it just felt like a team performance. Everybody gave 100%.
Yeah, well done, very well done. Back to this game, 9-1 currently, Valley Volcanoes versus Powys Sparks. We've seen Valley Volcanoes playing it really fast through court. Powys Sparks are getting some turnover, but they just can't get it past the defence of Kidner and Perry. And you played against these two. How hard is it to get the ball through?
Really hard. Kidner has got great elevation, so you feel like your shooter's free, and even with a shooter like I was, who was 6'1", 6'2", it's really difficult to get a ball in. Kidner reads the space well, comes out on the flies, and if she does come out, you've got Perry straight in on the switch. So yeah, such a good defensive unit, those two.
And even the centre pass defence, I think they're struggling at the moment, Powys Sparks, to get that centre pass out. A really good combination between Nick Cook and Laurie Jenkins, just covering the first bit for probably second number one and then switching really quickly.
And the thing is, you've got Nick Cook, Laurie Jenkins and Stephanie Perry who play together week in, week out for Central. So they're playing together for clubs, so they know exactly what they're going to do. And, you know, they set up that wall defence on centre pass. There is no getting through.
So what advice would you give to Powys Sparks as a wing attack, goal attack yourself?
I think they need to try and split those three. So just looking at angles on a centre pass, setting up a little bit early, looking at that zero phase, trying to break them before you get over the line to then create that space over the line.
Fabulous. Well, we will see whether they take any of that on board. They've had time in with their coaches. There have been a couple of changes to bring you for Powys. Leah Jackson comes on into that centre position. Pip Whittle comes on in the goal shooter position, and Steph Wild goes to wing defence. So some changes potentially to try and help that. Pip Whittle, we saw play yesterday, was a real target for them. Nick Cook chases the ball down and takes all the barriers out as well.
And you can see now the Valley's defence setting up a little box defence there. They're working well, looking at the zone, looking to pick off any loose ball.
So Jackson offering to go back at the minute, still playing quite wide. A good swing, just trying to pull it in, Jackson. Gives them another opportunity here. And then trying to pass it over Kidner isn't the best option, is it?
There's that elevation we spoke about just now.
Mid-range shot. Oh, and Cook scoops it up. Nice quick movements through court for Volcanoes. Reynolds holding strong. 1-2 between her and Jenkins.
And this is Jenkins' prime position for a shot, but she's passed it.
There it is.
Not afraid to put up a long shot as Jenkins.
Reynolds not happy to go forward. Doesn't matter when you've got the defensive prowess of Perry bringing the ball through the court.
And that was good pressure then from the Powys defence, just to confuse that space in the circle. Boulderson not quite connecting there with Jenkins.
It's just a sea of Valley Volcanoes players in the middle, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I feel like all I can see is grey and pink and not much orange.
Oh, lovely from Jenkins. It's quite a gentle shot from her. Just rolled in. Attacking contact against Jackson. Gives Valley Volcanoes possession again. Reynolds, big swing to Nick Cook. Such a smart player, Cook, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She just creates so much on that court.
Nick Cook, player coach for this team. Oh, footwork. I love how long Balderson looked at the umpire for. Really? Whittle.
Oh, lovely. Good punch through by goal attack there, coming through top. It's just what they needed.
Yeah, well done, Emily Brooks. Shorter player in that circle, and therefore she's going to have to come forwards for the ball. Whittle.
What
Wow.
a pass. Bullet ball in.
She saw the gap. She threaded that needle straight through. And textbook Georgia Jenkins, ball side. Lovely pop. those connections that they were struggling with a bit at the beginning. Valley Volcanoes now really solidifying.
They've definitely settled in their attack end now, haven't they?
Yeah, it seemed a bit frantic before, and they've obviously just tweaked it a little bit. You could see Nick Cook before just giving them a bit of advice. I did wonder why Kidner didn't go for that.
That was, yeah, I was going to say, that was a really good ball in.
Oh, what? That is ridiculously good.
Kidner just came out of nowhere. I think she covered 2 players then.
Yeah. It's like a textbook on hedging, isn't it? But like you say, it's not even the fact that she encouraged it. She would have got to either. Yeah. Jackson swinging it to Wild. Oh, it's a long swing. Balderson, one hand. Jenkins back to Balderson. Oh, unlucky there.
Valleys are working the ball well around circle edge, creating some space using the triangles.
Yeah, and they've obviously spoken about it at half-time, at quarter-time, because they were struggling with that before. So a change here sees Stephanie Perry go into the bench.
And we've got Ashley Bourne coming in at goal defence.
It's nice changes as well to bring the youngsters on, because they've got another game later, haven't they, and one that they will be wanting to win. Unlucky on the shot. Great rebound by Kidner. Bourne getting involved. Reynolds, Jenkins. Oh, just a bit short for Balderson. Bailey on the ball. Oh, Sims just scoops it in, but can only pass it off to Cook.
Second chance for Balderson. I think we read each other's minds then.
Side kick. Lovely from Whittle, but no one in the circle. Great middle. She's got some force, hasn't she, Whittle?
Yeah, fair play. They're doing that really well at the minute, coming out using that middle channel. It was just an unfortunate replayed ball there.
And Nick Cook's smiling and laughing about it, but Reynolds just got a bit too excited.
And Sparks' defence are doing a really good job here, because there's been a couple of balls now that have been turned over, and they're causing basic errors, aren't they, down their end?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a great tip there from Kidner. Oh, lovely hold.
Yeah, and Whittle set that up. She moved Brooks into the position that she wanted it to be in to create that screen for the backspace.
You could almost see a pusher in the back, couldn't you, to get it out of the way.
Nice front drive. They've got so much confidence as well in passing the ball, and their placement is so lovely, isn't it, from Volcanoes?
Yeah, it's just first time ball. There's no hesitation.
Little step back from Jenkins, but it works. They just keep putting scores on the board. And as we said earlier, the goal difference matters to them at the moment. It's at third in the table coming into today, but only on goal difference to Coastal Heat. Coastal Heat face Northeast Inferno later. Oh, unlucky for Brooks.
Brooks is working so hard, isn't she, to try and bring that ball down into the shooting end. Maybe just a quick kind of relax, quick breath before she puts that shot up.
And how much pressure do you feel under as a shooter when, you know, you've struggled to get the ball down anyway? Do you feel like you've got to put it up from distance if it lands in the circle sometimes?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've worked so hard to get it in there, and it's particularly with a scoreline like this, you just want to take every opportunity at goal.
In the meantime, a great feed to Whittle. She'll get a second attempt. And we had a change in the centre position. Nick Cook has come off and Lauren Barber has come on for Valley Volcanoes. So they're very much using their whole bench today.
Lauren Barber, a very rangy player, great on defence. So I'm sure there's going to be quite a few intercepts from her today.
Jenkins, give and go. Lovely from Balderson.
Balderson has a lovely quick shot. If she just turns and straight away in it goes.
She's quite unassuming, isn't she, as a player? She just does her job. All the way to the wall for Reynolds. 20 seconds left in this quarter. They've ended it early for them. Oh, and Jenkins sweeping up at the back. Lovely, just moving the ball.
And a lovely shot from Jenkins. As you said, such a nice, calm shot, isn't it?
It's so effortless.
Yeah.
So the scores on the doors, 18 goals for Valley Volcanoes, 5 for Powys Sparks. So Valley Volcanoes being really consistent, scoring 9 goals that quarter, but better for Powys Sparks. They only got 1 in the first quarter. They've managed to make it 5 now, so 4 goals for them, but still quite a heavy deficit.
Yeah, and as you said, much better performance for them. And I think what's working is when the shooter is coming out into that middle channel. It's just giving them an extra option and something for Kidner to think about. If you're static as a shooter, you're allowing Kidner to come out on those flies. So I think more of that is needed from Sparks to make sure they can get that ball into their shooters.
And do you think that Whittle's doing a better job of bodying up? Because Kidner likes to be off the body, doesn't she? She likes to hunt and move her feet around. So is it better to be on them as a shooter, or is it better to draw them out? I mean, how would you play it?
I mean, it's a tough one really, because as you said, someone like Kidner, she likes to be off the body. She likes to look for those flies. So I think by Whittle coming out and doing that strong drive out, Kidner's then got to focus on her. She can't look to see what else is going on. So by doing that, and then maybe after that getting in and positioning herself in the right position to get that overhead ball. But as we've seen, that those overheads over Kidner are just not going in. They're being tipped or they're being intercepted.
And Valley Volcanoes, I mean, it has been 9 apiece, but actually they did give quite a few away from their errors in the first quarter. I feel like Powys Sparks are maybe winning more this quarter. So what is it that Valley Volcanoes are doing better in attack?
I think in attack they're just not hesitant. They're releasing first-time ball. And I think when they're doing that, it works really well. But as I said, Sparks are creating errors for them. And I think there's times where Valley Volcanoes maybe aren't definite in their movement, so the ball placement isn't quite where it needs to be. You know, scoring 9 in that quarter, that's a fantastic score, but I know, knowing what Nick Cook is like, she will want more from her team. She will be a little bit disappointed with that. Knowing what they could come into later on in the day, they'll want to tidy up those little basic errors.
Yeah, and like we said, we alluded to before, they kept 3rd in the rankings at the moment coming into this game, but only on goal difference with Central Heat. Coastal Heat, thank you. Too many words. So everything matters to them now. How hard is it? I mean, you play 2 games a day in this competition. This weekend, that's 4 games. How hard is it now to go into almost like the finals, the ranking games this afternoon? It's got to be a lot of heavy legs.
Yeah, a lot of heavy legs. And, you know, your last game of the weekend is the most important game. So it's just all about recovery. I mean, for me, I've used so much ice over this weekend just to try and ice any little niggles, and I'm sure others have been the same. And I think as long as you're following your recovery protocols, making sure you're eating enough, you're stretching, you know, you have to be doing that in between these games. And particularly for Valleys now, in games like this, you've got to use your bench.
And for Powys as well, I mean, you came off 2 games yesterday that you know, as you've alluded to, weren't the games that you wanted to play. Mentally, is it hard to come off the back of a heavy defeat and then go into a winnable game? Or actually, is it better for it to be a heavy defeat as opposed to a contested one?
I don't know. For me personally, I'd rather a close contested game. I mean, I think when you come off the court after a heavy loss, it is hard to pick yourself back up. Yes, it's disappointing with a close game, as we had yesterday, you know, that loss within 5. But the performances are still there. Whereas I think with a game like this, when you're down by quite a lot of goals, it is quite difficult to pick yourself back up then for a really important game this afternoon. So
really important for Powys Sparks then and their coaches to really have some impetus going into this second half to put everything they can out to allow them to perform later on.
Yeah, and I think it's really important they still need to have their own kind of goals. So looking at maybe increasing the number of shots that they put up in a game, or looking at a centre pass to goal, can they, try and get that close to 100%? So I think they just need their own targets to try and focus on their performance rather than worrying about the scoreline.
Absolutely. As we look at the teams coming back onto court, they're obviously super keen. They've come out nice and early. We've seen a change in the goal attack position. Now, you will know this more than me. I do believe that's Stephanie Perry, is it, in the goal attack position? Is this something you see very often?
Yeah, Steph can play both ends of the court. She's a fantastic shooter. She does play goal attack quite a few times for club. And I think she played goal attack and goal shooter up in the Bangor weekend.
Absolutely amazing. Super versatile players. And Caris Llewellyn has come on into the goalkeeper position. For Powys, Steph Wild comes on to goal attack, Chloe Evans to wing defence, and Beth Davis to goal defence. So quite a few changes that side. Are you surprised or not?
No, do you know what? I think it's good to give the girls a run out and to rest some legs ready for the games later on.
Multi-versatile players in Powys Sparks. Oh, unlucky on that rebound. We've seen Wild play wing defence and now going to goal attack. So opposite ends of the court. And we saw Beth Davis yesterday playing wing attack. She's also played goalkeeper. Today she started at wing defence and now she's gone to goal defence. So,
very versatile team.
Yeah, can literally play anywhere. Strong challenge from Ashley Bourne, but deemed to have contacted. Lovely drive.
It'll be interesting to see now how Sparks play the ball around now the kidney's off. As we saw there now, a nice, middle ball straight into Whittle.
She had a really nice hold as well on that, didn't she? Pip Whittle. She was playing with a smile as well. Oh, Reynolds. Lovely shot from Jenkins on 1 foot, doesn't make any difference.
Jenkins makes it look so easy, doesn't she? No pressure.
She really does. Just rolls off that time, however, scooped up at the back. Long ball through, Whittle is by her feet. Wild finds Jackson. It's like an injection of something has happened to Powys Sparks. They are playing a lot better this quarter so far.
Yeah, they're moving the ball around a lot quicker. And again, whether it's the change in the Volcanoes defence, but they seem to be finding more space.
Oh, that's a bit too much on that from Davis to Whittle. Lovely drive through. Look at the length on that pass from Jenkins to Reynolds. Sorry.
Lovely through court then from Volcanoes.
Oh, yeah, not received. Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah. Just the one basic rule of netball, receive in the middle third.
That was a great facial expression. Oh, yeah, damn it.
I think Perry's just too fast for her own good.
Yeah, she's played the next ball before everyone else has caught up. Jenkins.
Lovely shot again on 1 foot.
Thing is, Jenkins is brave enough to put it up from anywhere anyway, but if you had Perry underneath the post, you're not worried about the rebound either, are you?
No, just put it up.
Whittle. Lovely. Stunning shot the other side from her. Lovely quick centre pass taken from Barber. Reynolds opts for the reset. Was it an offside, not a contact? And again, Jenkins, long shot. Of course it went in.
Once she's got her eye in, that's it. There's no missing from Jenkins.
Defence really have to put pressure on her early, don't they? Oh, Jackson couldn't quite get to it. Oh, speed through. She only just held on to that.
And that was great speed, as you said, wasn't it? I think Powys Sparks just didn't have a chance to set anything up then.
No, not at all. Perry just mixing up the speed that they're playing at, which is smart play as well. Sometimes if you play everything at speed, you just need to take a little bit of pace off. Perry. Beautiful shot.
For a defender, she's got a lovely shooting action.
Oh, great intercept, run straight through it. Unlucky for Beth Davis, she read that well, couldn't quite get two hands on it. Ooh.
Great take there by Perry.
She did have to turn her body, didn't she?
She did. Just a bit of miscommunication there, I think, with Jenkins and Perry.
They're just having such a good time, though.
Yeah. There's just loads of smiles on the court today, which is great.
Oh, well taken, Jackson. This is a good speed from Powys. Too much on the final ball.
And it's always that final ball in. The speed through the court is great, but it almost just takes someone just to calm it down. Bit of composure.
Yeah, a bit like a pressure cooker, wasn't it? Mm. So a change. Laurie Jenkins goes to the bench, and Sammy
Jo Williams
there you go.
On to wing defence.
I knew you'd know the surname.
Sister of Stephanie Perry.
Oh, nearly for Reynolds, but great play from Powys. Davis finding Jackson. Oh, again, that final ball. Wild just needs to land her feet, take a breath.
They just need to look after Whittle a little bit and allow her to open up her space.
If your goal attack's feeding, a 2-on-1 is always going to be more effective, isn't it? Nice from Perry. Oh, what a 1-2. They're really putting their foot down now. Just under 3 minutes left. 27 goals to 8. One more will mean their highest quarter score yet, Valley Volcanoes. Oh, what a sweet shot. Great centre pass defence at the front, but good backup from Davis. Jackson only just pulling that in.
Jackson's working really hard in attack, isn't she? She's definitely creating options for them. And that was better patience, ball into the circle.
And a great pass.
Lovely pass. They're always a pass, those shots.
Reynolds just holds, allows her centre to get through. Oh, but great defence from Mary Bailey.
That was great vision. She spotted Perry coming round, came off her player. Davis then dropped back, so it was a great switch from defence.
Just unfortunate on the contact call. Good cover from Davis, marking the shot and the pop. Oh, how did it still land with Jenkins? Look at her, she loves it. Davis, bullet to Whittle. Jackson. No!
Straight into Llewellyn's hands. And it was such a shame. There was such a great through court then from Powys Sparks.
Another opportunity, however, thanks to the turnover from Jackson. Evans finds Whittle. Wow. You blink and they're right down the other end. The ball with Jenkins and obviously through the net.
She's not going to miss those. Her eye is in.
They are flying. Oh, maybe not that ball.
I'm not sure whether Barber thought the time, it was less time on the clock. But 30 seconds is quite a long time in netball, isn't it?
It is a really long time. I think a couple of teams have fallen foul to that. Good from Whittle.
And those lovely patience then, just to allow Little to move away and just to pop forwards again. And that's what they need more of.
Yeah, and that's the turnover to goal, but only 3 seconds. Hopefully Jackson won't let this go. I think that was taken because I do believe it was a breaking on the attack side. So therefore, it should be a Valley Volcanoes centre pass next. 30 goals to Valley Volcanoes, 10 to Powys Sparks. So Powys Sparks again scoring the most that they've scored, but Valley Volcanoes scoring a massive 12 goals in that quarter. That's more than one a minute.
Yeah, that was impressive. You know, both sides, you could just see the pace of the game completely change in that quarter. The speed, both teams bringing the ball through court, and I think the kind of speed that Perry has brought in that attack end, but it's speed with control. She's so quick, and she just can control that ball. She can change the pace when it's needed, and it's just well, 12 goals.
Yeah, and that really is the difference, isn't it? And we've said this a lot, and you are one of these players, so not to blow your own trumpet, but we've said you can, in different teams, you've got experienced players that will steady the ball and will know when to control it and when to change. And you get that from Nick Cook in attack. You've got that from Stephanie Perry in attack. Yourself, Rebecca Baker, we said, was also one of those players, just holds on to it, smarts. And a couple of teams just maybe missing those smarts. So I think maybe Powys Sparks missing that a little bit in attack, hence the fact that some of those balls have gone off the back end.
Yeah, because I think Powys Sparks could definitely have been up by a lot more. They could have scored a lot more in that quarter. They had the opportunity. They brought the ball through court lovely. You know, good speed through court. It's just having that kind of precision on that pass at the end, isn't it? Just someone just to take a breath and just to place the ball in nice, rather than hammer the ball into a goal shooter.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, isn't it? Because Pip Whittle is coming forwards, but actually sometimes it's not on, sometimes it's faking that, and that's drawing defence and opening up something else. But I mean, how hard is it to maintain that composure, especially if you're trying to put goals on the board? Is that quite hard to be the one that goes, oh, take a breath?
Yeah, I think so. And I think because you want to try and get more goals, therefore you feel as if I got to pass it first second every time. Again, it just comes down to experience. You just need someone just to be that one person, even if it's a reset back to the line to go again. At least you're keeping control, you're keeping possession of the ball, rather than trying to, you know, just throw the ball in and hope for the best.
Well, you heard it here first. Control is the key heading into this final quarter. The players again out super early. Both teams raring to go in this game. We will wait for the umpires, however, because we have to run to timing. There have been some changes to bring you. Lots of changes for Valley Volcanoes. Rhiannon Maggs comes on to wing defence. Nick Cook back on at wing attack. Jade Balderson comes on to goal shooter. For Powys Sparks, Jazz Barty comes on to goal shooter. Emily Brooks comes on to goal attack. And Becky Mumby goes to goalkeeper. So started at goal shooter and now to goalkeeper.
Oh, footwork call there, I think, from Barber. So this is a chance now for Sparks to capitalise on their turnover. And again, it's just that final ball into the shooter. I think this is the first time we've seen Rhiannon Maggs come onto the court for Volcanoes this weekend. So it'd be good for her to have a good run out.
Valley Volcanoes. Oh, I was going to say, what an impact to start off with. Valley Volcanoes missing Titley today. She was here yesterday in that wing attack position, but not on their bench today. Sadly busy elsewhere. She was a great wing attack, and therefore it'll be interesting to see if they miss her in the upcoming game. But fancy having Nick Cook as your replacement.
Not a bad replacement.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's all right.
Perry still sinking the goals. The two Jackson sisters working together. Oh, unlucky, because that ball to Barty was lovely. Oh, she can't quite sink. She's not impressed with herself. Oh, yeah.
I think Mags thought Llewellyn was a goal defence then with the placement of that ball.
Yeah, you're not allowed in there, Llewellyn. Big swing over. Davis goes back. Finding Cook. Jackson. Barty. Great timing on her arrival for that ball.
Just unlucky then on the last shot with Barty. But she's definitely offering something different in there, isn't she, with her timing?
And it must be hard to come on fourth quarter and shoot.
Yeah, I agree. I think as a shooter, it's really hard to come on, you know, especially when you're down by, 21 goals. Yes, you might argue there's no pressure on the game, but I think as a shooter, you still want to try and get your shots in. You know, you want to prove a point, don't you?
Absolutely. In the meantime, one of the shortest players on the court gets the tip on the feed. Balderson. Perry wants to take it closer. Oh, stunning. Very jealous as a defender that Perry can play goal defence and goal shooter. Oh, contact against Nick Cook there. Gives Evans the ball. Oh, she feels hard done to there. Does Ashley Bourne. Evans. Obstruction against Llewellyn. There we go.
That's a nice settler for her.
Leah Jackson opting to go back to Evans. Just so much pressure, covering one pass and then the next pass.
And I think Davis was free then, wasn't she? I think Evans just looking for a slightly longer option.
Yeah, and I think it's the doubt, isn't it? Once you've had defenders run on intercepts that you think they're not going to get to, and then they do, it creates that doubt to let the ball go. Oh, lovely shot. Perry, pinpoint pass was needed.
Davis has been key in that defence end, hasn't she, for Sparks this game?
Yeah, absolutely agree. And the rebound, wide offload to Evans. Oh.
Ooh, I wasn't sure if she kept that in then with the quick feet. Quick hands, quick feet of Barber.
Time being held, a quick change here.
I think a well-deserved rest for Davis there.
As we said, Davis has played all over the court in many different positions throughout this tournament. Probably important to ensure that players are rested for this afternoon, bearing in mind that this game, the result is done. However, the points still count. It's Lizzie Sims that comes back onto court in the goal defence position. Oh. Core strength. Can't find Balderson, but I love that core strength. Turn, pivot on one foot. Hold it for a minute.
A great balance.
She must have abs of steel. Evans can't quite connect with Misha Jackson. Oh, lovely, gentle ball in. Balderson. Fabulous shot. 34 goals to 11. Lower scoring quarter, this one so far for Valley Volcanoes. I think Stephanie Perry obviously heard that.
She wasn't happy with your comment there. Get the ball down to goal.
Oh, lovely cheeky pop.
And a great shot there for Balderson.
They go again. Barber to Cook, Cook to Balderson, Balderson to Perry. And Perry nets another. Sparks still only on one this quarter. 3 minutes left of the game.
Such a lovely passage of play then from Sparks. Second phase depth, straight into the shooter.
Moments of magic.
Yeah, and that's what they need, isn't it? As you said, Valley Volcanoes are putting doubt in their mind because defence are tipping quite a lot. But, you know, first time ball, quick release.
We'll call that a reverse pass off. Nick Cook, Perry. And in it goes. Keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Oh, lovely ball from Cook to Barty.
Barty's holding his space really well in that circle.
She shoots, she scores, 2 minutes left. Balderson, oh, what a beautiful hold by Perry to post. There's not much you can do about that one. Zero phase defence here from Valley Volcanoes is on point. The umpire has eyes in the back of her head. Barty. Oh, just off the back, but manages to tip it into Cook. Great pickup.
And that's where it's really important as an attacker to stay circle edge until that goal has gone through the net.
Blink and you've missed Valley Volcanoes all the way down the other end. So quick on the transition.
Really quick.
Oh, lovely, lovely ball in.
Balderson there, just drawing her keeper to top of the circle to allow her all that back space. Such an easy ball in.
Stunning. Another opportunity for Sparks. Still just over 30 seconds left in this game. Jackson. Oh, great ball to Barty.
Barty's getting some great space in there and they're feeding her really well.
She gets her own rebound. 15 seconds. The bench want them to take it to goal. Nick Cook. Perry. Oh, can't quite keep it in.
Great pressure there from Sparks. Tying Valley's the final goal of the game.
And that is it. So that is 40 goals to Valley Volcanoes, 14 to Powys Sparks. Do you think both will be pleased, or?
Yeah, I think Volcanoes will be pleased with that score. You know, as we said throughout the game, there's probably some passages of play where maybe Nick Cook will kind of look to improve on for their later on game. Powys Sparks, I thought, built throughout the game. I mean, we saw in the last quarter there the space by Barty and the feeds in were brilliant. Again, it's just maybe them switching on sooner and creating that space. You know, Barty just held and she just knew where to position herself and they weren't afraid to put that ball in.
And actually, both teams have managed to get everybody on the court. So moving forwards, actually, it's led them well into the next games.
Yeah, it's given everybody a run out. I mean, sometimes, if you sit on the bench for a game and then you get put on in the next game, a little bit of nerves. Everybody's had a run out. Not fresh legs, but rested legs, then ready for the next game.
Absolutely. Well, make sure you don't go anywhere because there's still plenty left in today. One more game of the rounds coming up. And then after that, we have our placing game. So whatever you're doing, cancel those plans, get yourself a cup of tea and get yourself comfortable. And we'll be back really shortly.